All right, hope everybody's doing well. I hope I'm live too. Facebook is not showing it yet, but uh, yeah. So this is another live of the follow along. I'm doing every Monday at 3 o'clock Central Time, and I might move that to 3:30 because I seem to get being hung up right before this and not being able to hit 3 o'clock right away. So let's just let's say it now. Let's just switch this to 3:30, right? So anything goes. It's my show. I'll do what I want. So hope everybody had a great week. The last couple weeks I had been struggling a little bit with getting momentum, getting going, right? Like doing my tasks, my to-dos for the marketing for the business. And that's creating some stress, some frustration or whatever. And this is about having fun and growing this. So as things turns out, as I mentioned on this podcast and on Facebook Live for this follow along, that I will do it first myself, and then we'll hire out, and that's created some interest in someone out there, and she's pretty awesome. Got a ton of passion about this industry, about this business, and she heard that and contacted me, and we talked. We got on a Zoom call, and she's just perfect. She's great, and she's interested in making those calls and getting things set up to do mailings and stuff like that. So it just worked out perfect. Part-time and very interested in learning in this business, and it was definitely genuine. So that was cool. It just worked out that way. And so she's actually starting tomorrow. So excited to get the ball rolling with that and really nailing down my new processes for her to come on board and be able to work with me to be able to do the cold calling and researching the Drive for Dollars leads, stuff like that, get the mailing set up and out, and take calls. So it's great to feel like making progress, right? And I also wanted to talk about a conversation I had with a really good friend of mine yesterday about going into business, right? Going in and having an idea and creating it, and actually having something that you've created. So a lot of people out there maybe that have just worked jobs and looking to start their business, get into this business and create something, right? Like, whereas before it was working for somebody else. And so that conversation was, how did that happen? How did I do that? Like, how, way back when, like, what was the process? What happened? And the big thing, the take home, I'm not going to go into the whole thing because I got really, I started talking a lot about it. It was really a great conversation, but really the gist of it was just that it was something that happened over time. And I didn't sit there and say, okay, well, I want this business, this flipping business that does all of this, and then set out to create that big business or team or anything like that. It was really, just starting with the first thing. And so it was interesting that looking back at, the catalyst was that my father had started flipping houses, and he was super pumped, excited about it, and was telling me, I bought this deal and I'm getting that deal. And, he had a new truck and he was getting to drive around all day long, checking out these properties and all that kind of stuff. He was having a lot of fun, but he didn't tell me do this, this, and this. He was just telling me like what he was doing, like he was having fun, right? Like about the deals and stuff, but it wasn't the how-to. And I ended up watching this box of VHS tapes of Carlton Sheets. I think it was I think it was him, maybe it was somebody else, but the guy was doing cold calling. Like, he was just going down in the newspaper, these classified ads of people wanting to sell their house and calling them up and trying to work these creative deals. He was cold calling and trying to set up creative deals for people that had no equity and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I remember watching that. I didn't even make it through the whole, first one. And I just felt sick. I was like, wow, this is like way too far out of my comfort zone and scary and confusing. And I put it back in the box and I put it back in the garage, and I didn't really mess with it after that. That kind of really turned me off. And, seeing how much fun my dad was having still kept me interested. But I just decided, no, I don't think I want to do this. This is really scary. And at the time I was maybe like 23 or something, but so where did I go from there, right? Like, how did I end up getting back and getting going in the business? And it was because I wanted to buy my own house, and I wanted it to be a deal. I wanted it to be something that had equity, that needed some work. And so that's where I got back into looking for my own house to live in, to buy, to fix up, and have that equity in it and all that kind of stuff. So that was what got me interested again. And that took me, I think it was like 6 or 9 months to get that deal. And I ended up getting it through HUD Home Store. I think it was a HUD home. And if you're a homeowner, you get dibs a lot of times on a lot of these before investors can go in. Someone that's not going to live in the property, you have like 10 days or whatever it was where you could try to buy the house before investors even have a shot at it. So it's an awesome place to get a home and get that first deal if you're, you know, in a position where you can maybe get one of those and have your first deal. But it had to have the equity. It had to be in a place where I'd be willing to live, all that kind of stuff. So it took a while. And I didn't just look there. I was looking and sending letters to homeowners, driving for dollars and stuff like that. But that's really what eased me in, right? That's how I dipped my careful what I'm saying here. I dipped my toe in, right? And then, you know, it was like a progression, like there's progress. It was slow progress, right? Looking back and talking about it, usually it seems so fast, but man, it was real slow. And then getting that first one, that house, and working on it, and you know, that belief was there, all like, yeah, I can buy houses like this. You know, I saw my dad doing it, but he was buying in smaller towns outside the city, and I was starting to question, am I ever going to find a deal within the city? And maybe this isn't even right for me, you know, like, am I going to be able to do this? Like, you're able to do it, but maybe I can't, and all that mind garbage that comes up. And so looking back, you know, I think that was the important takeaway there, was that it wasn't something where the decision was made to jump into this and it just happened, right? There was some research into something that didn't fit for me, which was that cold calling kind of stuff and the creative deals. And, you know, I went away from it, but I came back when I wanted to get my own house, and then got back in. That got me super pumped. And after that, I was doing marketing and like, yeah, this is going to happen. Like, I know this now. I've done it once, and it got real exciting and went from there. So I'm just saying all of that for encouragement for those out there, maybe that, you know, this is scary, right? It's like it's a brand new thing, and there seems to be so much to know, but maybe, you know, given patience, you know, you'll find that right thing that pulls you in the right way, that maybe is not something that's the typical way that other people are teaching, but you find your way into the business that way. So anyway, I wanted to share that. So that was cool. And yeah, so I didn't really plan what I was going to talk about this time. I did do some of my to-dos, right? Like in 90 that I'm tracking, and, you know, did some of those cold calls. And thankfully, this person, I don't know if she's okay with me mentioning her name, so I won't yet, but she's, you know, contacted me and we started talking. So that really is where I put my focus in the week, because that's the leverage, right? That's where I'm going to get more benefit out of working on that, working on what the processes are going to be, the training for that person to get going, to help do the things that, you know, I just don't enjoy a whole lot, and, you know, leverage that. Plus the excitement of working with another person in the business, right? Like, I think that's a big thing. So that passion there, that's really what excited me about it, is because it's great to have that passion to fire you up and get going. So if you hire somebody on a team, it's kind of like a wet noodle, like, you know, obviously it's not going to be super exciting. So anyway, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the things that we've been doing in Flip Pilot. I don't talk about it a whole lot, but I mean, we're right now, we're in the process of building out, you know, the stuff where we're going to track the KPIs and the stats, and even a funnel. And so there's two ways to look at these numbers in the business. And I'm real big on this, right? Because this is how we know how well we're doing in our business and where we need to work to improve the business. And so there's two ways to look at these numbers. One is the stats, where it's like week over week, right? This is exactly what happened. So this week, you know, maybe if I didn't get a ton of leads, I could have had maybe 2 leads and then 4 appointments, right? And how does that make sense? Well, 2 leads came in this week and I got 2 appointments, but from the previous week, I had leads that maybe it took a while, but I got appointments this week for those. And so you're tracking that, but it's not this week, these came in and then these became appointments, these became offers, these became deals. And that's a funnel is needed for that. So we have the 2 sides. We've got the one where it's just week over week, exactly the numbers of what happened, which are not, meaning that all these appointments are just from these leads. But in the funnel view, the leads that were generated in this time frame produced these things, right? The appointments, the offers, the contracts, the closed deals, the profit. And so I'm super excited to have those. And this is, you know, and I was really pumped about the Flip Pilot 1.0. We had a beautiful funnel that I thought was like one of the best parts of the system. And in Flip Pilot 2.0, we didn't really have that from the get-go because we were trying to trim all the fat and just have just what we need for a great, powerful, super simple system. And now that we're developing and adding on, we came back to this idea of the funnel. And I'm not even going to share it. I think, you know, once we release it, we'll have a release video and you'll be able to see it. But it's super cool because it wasn't just my idea. It was the idea of the developers and those of us on the team that have been through planning this out before. And they had great ideas that we put into this. And it's just like, I think it's, you know, like 5 times better even than what I thought was the best possible funnel that you could look at based on filtering by campaign and all that kind of stuff, and seeing it visually, what's happening with your business through a funnel and seeing where stuff is falling out. It's super, super cool. I can't wait to release that in Flip Pilot in probably a couple weeks. If you want to know when that happens and see a video for that, make sure that you subscribe to the Flip Pilot YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/flippilot. Flip Pilot. If you're driving, pull over, go to youtube.com/flippilot and subscribe so that you get notified of that. Okay. And you'll see a video of that coming out very soon, and all that kind of good stuff. And we've just been, you know, releasing all kinds of cool stuff for it as well. And I can't wait to, that's part of the training it's going to be for the new hire, is coming in and seeing how to use Flip Pilot for my business. And I'm sure a lot of videos will come out of that to share with you guys as well, to help see how you can use Flip Pilot to improve your business as well. But hope everybody has a great week. I want to tell you that next week I likely will not have an episode. I'll be out of town on vacation, much needed vacation. It'd be great, going to a couple national parks, and really looking forward to that. So everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for following along. If you have questions, let me know in the Flipping Junkie Facebook group, and or comments on the YouTube videos, whatever you want to do. Like I was saying before, personally, I felt like this needed to progress much faster, but in reality, looking back and have that conversation about how, when I got started, how it unfolded, this is how it goes, right? So this is awesome. It's going to take a little bit more time. We'll share these nuggets along the way. It will start ramping up, and it's going to get to be where there's like, oh, we got like 5 or 10 leads this week, and you know, these appointments from, and all that kind of stuff, but in due time, right? Having faith and having fun and keeping it that way. So everybody have a great week. Talk to you next time.